All right, so PlayStation is discussing opportunities to bring back legacy IPs like Legend of Dragoon that you guys see here. My thing is, I am a little concerned because of the state of how PlayStation is and how their modern games are. Now, when it comes to bringing back IPs and things like that, we as the people that played the originals know how it is, know what the game sense is like, what it feels like, and everything like that. But if they are going to revive the IP and everything, I feel like they're gonna make some dramatic changes to the game where it's not gonna feel the same. Before we go into that, just want to let you guys know what's going on, everybody. It's Alpha Channel here, and we're going to be talking more about this situation with PlayStation and why it could be a good thing and why it could be a bad thing. If you guys do enjoy the content, be sure to drop a like and also subscribe too. And comment down below what you guys think about the whole thing with the gaming industry, the state of it right now. Because even though there are some good games that are out and that are going to be coming out, I still feel there's a lot of negativity and bad actors, I guess you say, in the gaming industry. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the story. So PlayStation, PlayStation Studios is talking about wanting to bring back classics like Legend of Dragoon, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper. Also, they even said to Twisted Metal as well. Now, what we've known from PlayStation, and why I say it's a good thing, is because it's bringing that nostalgia factor back, right? People have been talking about it left and right for quite some time now, wanting to have, Legends of Dragoon come back, like have a remaster or a remake of it, something along those lines. And I don't blame them. Also, they were talking about, it's going to be great that it'll be, it'll be great for like the IPs and everything. It'll bring more people in, which will strengthen the portfolio, which is true. Because once you think of when you see a new Jak and Daxter, or Sly Cooper, Twisted Metal game, or even if you see Legend of Dragoon, if there was a trailer for it right now, people would lose their minds and be like, "Oh my goodness, I want to get this game. I want to get this game." But here's the thing, right? Recent trends going on, right? People were talking about, the remakes, the reboots of games like Final Fantasy VII. They're talking about games like Resident Evil, things like that. But there has been, even though the games are pretty good, there are some people, obviously, that noticed differences in Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Remake. Obviously, with Resident Evil Remake, it's not really a turn-based of how it used to be, where you'd run around and then the screen would change and transform, and then you're in a battle, right? Now you can actually see the monsters and the enemies and things like that. So that's what kind of threw me off when it came to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was like, it's very weird, because it's not like how it used to be. So Resident Evil, people were talking about this before. They're talking about having it like, people say they called it safe horny, I guess you would say, because if you played the Resident Evil 4 original on GameCube, yes, it was on GameCube first. Ada, she had a long like red silk dress, and it had a slit. It had like a slit to like where it goes up to, I think, her hip, right? So you kind of see the side of the leg and everything like that. Well, in the remake of this of Resident Evil, she's now wearing like kind of like a dress skirt thing, and then she's wearing tights and then boots. So it's kind of like that bit of, I guess, showing a little bit of sexiness thing that like they just went away from that. And we also have to take into account that the people that made the Legend of Dragoon, the people that made Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper and Twisted Metal, all those games, right? They are no longer in the gaming industry, or they are in the gaming industry, but they're not working in PlayStation, right? Or working along the lines of PlayStation. So we have to take into consideration when they are going to do this. Are they going to do a remake? Are they going to actually do a remake, or are they going to do a remaster? Now, the reason why I talk about this is because when it comes to remasters, usually what you do is you just make the game how it originally was with the gameplay and everything. You just enhance the graphics, probably do updates on the sound, like the sound quality, things like that. That's usually what you do. Remakes, they usually want to alter a bit of a story or the gameplay of it, and then you get things like Final Fantasy VII. Now, don't get me wrong, people do love Final Fantasy VII, and I'm not bashing on them or anything like that. But from playing original Final Fantasy VII and then trying out this new Final Fantasy VII, it was very different because they're trying to please the newer audience, because the newer audience may not understand what original Final Fantasy was like. So they went with this route. So my thing is, where I stand on this whole thing is that it's a good idea to bring back these IPs. But my biggest concern are a few things. Are they going to do a remake of it, or they're going to change something completely different? And then also, is it going to be exclusive to PlayStation? If not, if it's going to go to Steam as well, is it going to require a PSN account in order to just play these games? Like, I can understand playing multiplayer games from PlayStation requiring a PSN account. That's fine. Even though I don't really like the idea. Same thing on the Xbox side. I don't think it's an idea to have a Microsoft account to play like a single player game, if that's the case. But my thing is, if you're playing a game like Legend of Dragoon, which is strictly a single player game, right? I would rather have, I shouldn't have to have a PlayStation Network account. But I know people are going to talk about it. They're going to say, hey, the arguments are going to be, well, it's a PlayStation game. You should have that, right? Like, it should be automatically given that you should have a PSN account. But the thing is, it limits people who do not have PlayStation Network support, right? This just goes back to the Helldivers thing, and I will still bring this up until they fix that. That's still an ongoing issue. People that have played Legend of Dragoon in the past, like the original, they can play the game, enjoy it, things like that. They're gonna want to come back and play this remaster or remake or whatever the way they're gonna go with this. They're gonna want to play it, but if they live in a country where they're not able to do that, then they're pretty much already eliminated from it, which is gonna piss off a lot of people. Like, it's not just for US, UK, like all these PlayStation Network supported countries. It's more of, everybody should be able to have a chance to play it. Either you like the game or not, like, at least everybody should have a chance to play it. It shouldn't be restricted to pretty much any country, right? I would say the only restriction, now, I will say this when it comes to the restriction with PlayStation Network supported, I don't know if it's due to like certain things with that country or not. I know there was like games like Battlefield 3, for example, where obviously you can't play, like, you couldn't buy the game if you lived in Iran. Why? Because you invaded Iran, right? So it was the United States that invaded Iran. I forgot what it was. Operation Swordbreak, I believe. I can't remember. Or no, Operation Guillotine. That's what it was. You invade Tehran, and then one of the best missions that they have, you bomb an airport and freaking, like, you're bombing military assets at a Iranian airport, which is insane. But I mean, if I was that country, I would understand why you would restrict it. So if the country is restricting it, okay. But if PlayStation is just like, nope, these countries right here, nope, they don't have access to it, whatever. Like, I just think that's completely messed up. So again, I'm just not entirely sure when it comes to these games, or like comes to the IPs, if they're gonna go along that route. I hopefully they follow the footsteps and the blueprints of the original titles, and what they do is they just remake the graphics or remaster the graphics, make it a little better, and playable like that. Like, I don't want the story to change dramatically, because here's the thing: newer players, they may not understand, right? But those that have played the original, they're going to know the difference, right? If not, they could just simply go back and play the original Legend of Dragoon and then play the new one and then notice that there's massive differences and that could cause an issue. Or it could go off without a hitch. We don't know. We don't know. But I would say this. I hope that PlayStation, if they are going to go through with this, that they stay with like the reason why that game is great, right? Gameplay, story, you know, the characters, and they don't try to push certain things onto the game, right? So we don't want this game to like come back as a legacy IP, right? And then it gets treated like Concord. It gets treated by like Dustborn, things like that. We don't want that. We really don't want that to happen. Okay. So that's it. That's all I think I have for this. I know it's kind of short, but let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this idea with PlayStation. Do you guys think that they are going to go through with this? If they're going through with this, do you think they're just going to do a remaster or they're going to go with the remake? And how you guys feel about that, okay? It's Alpacino, and I'll see you guys later, all right? Peace.